Hey, it's John the Matoshnik. The question is, should I subcontract out labor when starting my business? So I don't know if you mean hire contractors versus employees, or if you mean just go sell the business and have another company actually perform the work. So I'm going to answer both. And I think that hiring subcontractors, now, you get into some legal stuff here, but I think hiring subcontractors for a short period of time is the way to go personally. Now you've got to stay within the law on this one, so you got to be careful. And every state's a little bit different. But from the standpoint of being able to hire a guy and try him out before you put him on your payroll, I think there's real value in that. Now, some of the Northeast states are very tight on this stuff, so you've got to operate inside the law because they can kill you on this. When you're small, you can get away with a little bit more, but I'm just saying be careful here, and it's better. It's a nightmare, but it's better to play by the rules. You want to go to bed at night and you want to be able to sleep in peace and you don't want to worry. It's one thing to make a lot of money, but if you're going to worry about stuff and afraid it's all going to be over one day because you're not paying your taxes and you're not running by the rules, it's totally not worth it. If you're not charging them enough money in your business to play by the rules, it's not worth it. So I'm saying evaluate your market and see what you can do to stay within the law. But if you can do subcontracting and you can and do it properly, then do it for a short period of time. But eventually you're gonna have to bring your people on the payroll. So that's the first part. Now, if you're talking about a scenario where you offer one service and you want to offer a second complementary service, but you don't want to buy the equipment, hire the employees to do it, and you want to subcontract that out to another company, I like that. Now, there's a whole lot of pitfalls here and a whole lot of things to be careful, but if you could find the right relationship with somebody, and going into the relationship, you're very honest with them in that I'm going to give you this business, and if it goes well, you're probably going to do it for a really long time. As long as I can make money and you can make money and you take very good care of my clients and you don't try to steal them from me and you're ethical and honest, you're probably going to be doing my properties for me for quite some time. But if you violate any of that, it's over overnight. And then the second part of that is you're upfront with them. You tell them that, you know what, I'm not ready to grow my business in this area, and one day I will, and I would like you to handle it for me now, but I want you to know it could be 2 years from now. Someday I'm probably going to bring this work back in-house. I think if you go into the relationships like that, you're in the best scenario. Some of these deals where you subcontract out work to guys and then one day you yank it all out from under them, they can get a little nasty sometimes. Now, that doesn't scare me at all from doing it. I would do it. I'm just saying, I harp on this concept to put yourself in another person's perspective. And I've been through the legal system enough times to know that people are crazy and people forget things. And you make verbal agreements and people forget them. And I'm not real big on having lots of agreements and contracts, but put some of this stuff down in writing and be open up front about what your plan is, and be honest, and it'll just make life a whole lot easier for you. So I love the strategy. I think it's a great way to stay focused on your business, not have to put out a big capital expenditure to move into new markets. It's a way to build a base before you make the capital expenditure. So you're offering one service, you sell a lot of the second service, have somebody else do the work. You're building up that client base. One day when it's self-sustaining, you can go hire the people and the equipment, and you can then you can take that over in-house. Great strategy. But don't do it unless you can make some money off it for yourself as well. It needs to be a nice profit margin. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I've seen. Some of these deals have been struck really nicely before, where a guy will literally negotiate a deal where he's making 10%. So a guy's paying him 10% of the gross receipts on a subcontracted deal, and he doesn't have to do anything. So that 10% is almost pure profit. It's like it's almost the perfect business. If you could just subcontract everything out, and it generally doesn't last, but if you could subcontract everybody out and just have everybody pay you 10% of gross revenue, and you had no employees and no office and no expenses, it's a beautiful scenario. You sell $1 million in work and you're making six figures a year and it's just you. That's a neat scenario. That's really hard to pull off. But the reason I brought that up is the point is you can create some of these little scenarios where you subcontract out some work and a guy's doing 100 grand a year of work and he's just writing you a $10,000 a year check and you don't do anything. That's nice. That's pure profit. You would have had to have gone out and probably done 50 to 75,000 a year in gross revenue to make that same amount of money, and you would have to have had the equipment and employees. Now, the pitfalls are you get these guys that try to steal your customers. You get these guys that drop the ball and ruin the relationship with the customer, and you end up losing your core work. So it is really imperative that you go out and you're very careful and you find somebody really good and you really evaluate your options in this area before you jump in and partner up with somebody to handle this work. But neat strategy to grow your business and keep yourself focused. So if you can pull it off and find the right person to partnership with, I recommend. By partnership with, I don't mean ownership. I just simply mean partner with to help you service your clients. Then I think you should proceed with it and test it and learn as you go. And neat way to go. Good luck.